Good day, everyone. My name is Jacinto. Today, I'm going to discuss about Karl Marx's theory, Friedrich Engels' theory, and Wilhelm Bonger's theory. So before I start, I will discuss first about Marxism. What is Marxism? Marxism is a social, political, and economic philosophy that named after Karl Marx. The Marxist view of history that governed by universal laws and that according to these laws, a society moves through a series of stages, with the transition between stages of being driven struggles. Marxism is a philosophy developed by Karl Marx in the second half of 19th centuries. Let's proceed to Karl Marx's theory. Who is Karl Marx? Karl Marx is a German philosopher. He is famous for his theories about capitalism and communism. In 1848, he published a Communist Manifesto with Friedrich Engels. He developed a historical of materialism and he presented a great challenge of Das Kapital in 1867. In Karl Marx's theory, I will discuss about the theories of social class and about capitalism. In theories of social class, Karl Marx is one of the social scientists who focuses mainly on social class. His main focus on social class was one social class that dictates in one social class. We have two types of social class, the upper and the lower class. In the upper class, life was one of leisure and abundance. Sila po yung may mga makapangyarihan, yung mga nakaupo sa government o kaya yung may mga business. In the lower class, lives of hardship and poverty. Sila naman po yung mahihirap o kaya mga walang trabaho. So next, the capitalism. Capitalism is an economic system that means of production is owned by private individual. According to Karl Marx, there was one in social elements that would determine where one profit in the social class hierarchy. That means of production who owner the resources necessary to produce what people needed to survive. Capitalism is an economic system based on the private ownership of productive assets and their profitable operation. Like capital accumulation, competitive markets, a price system, private property, and the recognition of property rights. Voluntary exchange and wage laborer are all key aspects of capitalism. Next is the Communist Manifesto. This is the famous work of Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels. The Communist Manifesto summarizes of Marx and Engels' theories about the nature of societies and politics. It formed the basis for the modern communist movement as we know, arguing that capitalists would inevitably self-destruct to be replaced by socialism and ultimately communism, and explain the goals of communism as well as the theory of underlying this movement. The Communist Manifesto, meron po siyang tatlong uri ng tao. First is bourgeoisie. Bourgeoisie is the owner of social production and employers of wage laborers, or sila yung pinakamataas or namamahala sa kanilang company. Second is proletariat. Proletariat who are reduced to selling their labor power in order to live. Sila yung mga trabahador or nagtatrabaho sa isang company. And the third is lumpen proletariat. Lumpen proletariat also called the dangerous class or social scam, that they are the lowest of social class. Sinabi pong dangerous class, sila naman po yung mga kriminal. So, let's proceed in the second theory. Second theory is about by Friedrich Engels' theory. Friedrich Engels is a German socialist philosopher and the closest collaborator of Karl Marx in the foundation of modern communism. Siya rin po yung nag-continue ng Das Kapital ni Karl Marx. Friedrich Engels believed that a communist revolution was inevitable to summer in Europe due to the oppressed condition of its workers and their vast numbers. And the last theory is about Willem Bonger theory. Willem Bonger, a Dutch sociologist, and took a different approach and argued that a crime was caused by societal factors, especially in the economy and its effect on people. Willem Bonger believed in a causal link between the crime, economic, and social conditions. He asserted that crime is social origin and a normal response to prevailing culture conditions. In more primitive societies, he contended that survival requires more selfless altruism within the community. So next, let's proceed to Bonger's theories and the economic solution to crime. So yung una pong tinalakay ni Bonger ay yung tungkol sa arguments. Bonger argued that the capitalist economic structure can have a detrimental influence on society and can create a criminal behavior and allow it to flourish. Through applying the arguments regarding the influence of the economy on social structure, Bonger can explain the cause of crime within different societies. And Bonger explored not one crime by the working class but also those in power of people. Next is the economic solution to crime. According to Bonger, he thought of being lowered or eliminate most of the crime to advocate and based on the community. Culture, intellect, and wealth should not be limited to the benefit of people but rather should be enjoyed by all. If the economic system is like in the capitalism, the cause of people is self-interestedness, then the economic system that support altruism would lessen people's egoism. Egoism is believed that every conscious conduct is motivated by individual self-interest. According to Karl Marx, capital is money. Capital is commodities. By virtue of being value, it has acquired the occult ability to add value to itself. It brings forth living offspring or at least lays golden egg. Meaning that money has a value beyond just its monetary value. Instead, money can be converted into a process by which is turned into a commodity. According to Friedrich Engels, all history has been a history of class struggles between dominated classes at various stages in social development. And this is the end of my report. Thank you.